Hello, I'm Venis Damalo, and due to last year's abysmal scores, I was considering not even doing this year. But then the government said that I could see my family again if I did it, and I was like, I don't care. But then they said they just keep pushing Red Dead Redemption back until I did it, so here I am. So let's start by going over last year's scores. So last year, for Best Picture, I picked La La Land because it seemed obvious, and that was, of course, wrong with Moonlight. I was very happy to be wrong then. Best Director, I nailed with Damien Chazelle. Best Actor, I picked Denzel, and it was Casey Affleck. Best Actress, my dumbass picked Natalie Portman when it was Emma Stone. That one should have been obvious. Best Supporting Actor, I went with Michael Shannon because I'd just seen that movie more recently than I'd seen any of the other ones. And Mahershala Ali got that one. Again, happy to be wrong. And Best Supporting Actress, I nailed with Viola Davis. Best Animated, it was Zootopia. I picked Kubo. That one, we're going to talk about that. So now let's begin 2018. And we'll start with the animated category, because I'm not doing the animated category anymore. When they nominated The Boss Baby, I decided that if the Academy is not going to take this seriously, then neither am I. So, whatever. Coco is the only one on the list I've seen, so Coco's the one I picked. Moving on to Best Supporting Actress. The nominees are Mary J. Blige for Mudbound. I think she was fantastic in Mudbound. Like, the movie itself, not so much, but she was definitely one of the standouts. I also really liked, I have not learned his name, but he plays Turk Barrett in all the Netflix Marvel stuff. And I get excited every time I see him. Like Stranger Things. But Turk Barrett, that's what I call him. If I ever met him in real life, I'd probably call him Turk Barrett. And there was Leslie Manville from Phantom Thread, which I was afraid that Leslie Manville was the main actress in Phantom Thread, because I didn't like her. But it was the sister, and she was really good for not having to move her face at all. I'll get on people sometimes because they don't move their face enough when they act, but this role really demanded it, and she did it perfectly. She was a stone cold Steve Austin. And Octavia Spencer for The Shape of Water. Honestly, this is basically the same thing Octavia Spencer does all the time. She does it very well, but I didn't see anything new with this. Laurie Metcalf in Lady Bird, she was fantastic. Like, I could see her winning this one. It's not my pick, but I could see her winning it because she did it exactly the way my mom does it. And I found that to be triggering. But my pick for Best Supporting Actress is Allison Janney for I, Tonya, because if Laurie Metcalf played a good mom, Allison Janney is exactly the worst mom possible. So this was a very easy category. Allison Janney for my, Tonya. Next up is Best Supporting Actor. The nominees are Willem Dafoe for The Florida Project. It was a pretty solid role. I particularly liked the part where he was chasing off a pedophile, but aside from that, Richard Jenkins in The Shape of Water, same thing there. Like, him and Octavia Spencer were good, but not, like, crazy good. The movie had some really good performances in it, but it was mostly from the main cast. Sally Hawkins and Michael Shannon. And Doug Jones, to a certain extent, without having to be able to talk. But, I mean, I see him talk on Discovery all the time, so I'm good. Christopher Plummer for All the Money in the World. Honestly, I think this is just a fuck you to Kevin Spacey. Like, I get that he was good, and that he did the whole role very quickly, but I don't think he's going to win. I think this nomination is just to say fuck you to Kevin Spacey. And then from 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, you get both Woody Harrelson and Sam Rockwell. My pick is Sam Rockwell, because while Woody Harrelson was a lot of fun, Sam Rockwell had a complete 180 in his character halfway through and managed to actually stay alive through the whole movie, which gives him a bit of a leg up for me. So for Best Supporting Actor, I picked Sam Rockwell. Now on to Best Actress. The nominees are Sally Hawkins for The Shape of Water, who was fantastic, and I love Sally Hawkins. I'm very glad that she got this nomination. I guess she's been getting a little bit bigger. She was in Paddington, but I know her mostly from a very old BBC movie called Fingersmith. So I'm glad that she's in more people's mind now. This nomination is definitely an honor for her, I assume. Saoirse Ronan in Lady Bird. I didn't get that. I didn't understand that movie, like, at all. And she was the main character in it. And I feel like I could have been the main character in it. Wait, is that what the whole point of that was? it was meant to be? No, because that was so boring. My point is, she acted the way a person should act, and that seems to be good enough for me, but everyone else is overrating this movie a lot. Meryl Streep in The Post, I think they just couldn't find a fifth one. Like, they just throw Meryl Streep in every year, apparently. The Post was a good movie, but none of it shocked me. None of it blew my mind. None of it made me just stare at it in awe. It was just exactly what I expected from the trailer. From the minute I heard Steven Spielberg was making a historical movie about whatever that movie was about. Washington Papers? Pentagon Papers. And then Frances McDormand for Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, and Margot Robbie for I, Tonya. I genuinely have been kicking this around for the past month or so. Which one does it go to? I know the Academy likes it when older actresses get all frumpy like Charlize Theron in Monster. But I also know that they tend towards younger actresses. So it's been a back and forth all fucking month. And I am going to pick Margot Robbie for I, Tonya. The scene where she's putting on her makeup, that really sticks out in my head. I'm going to remember that for a long time. So for Best Actress, Margot Robbie and I, Tonya. Now, Best Actor. This one's hard. The nominees are Timothée Chalamet for Call Me By Your Name, a movie that I didn't like. I did get it, at least, better than Lady Bird, but he was a mopey little brat who's basically just sat around eating fruit and moping. Anyone can do that. Why is he getting nominations? Honestly, he was slightly more interesting in Lady Bird. Not much, but I don't know. I don't like this kid. Maybe I'm jealous because I'm getting old, but nah. Daniel Kaluuya in Get Out. He was fucking great, but so was the entire movie, and I feel like it's really hard not to do a great job in that movie. Because, I mean, Bradley Whitford was great in that. I'm totally blanking on her name, was great on that. But definitely, the nomination is earned. I just don't think he's going to win it. Denzel Washington and Roman J. Israel. I was actually worried about this because it's not playing anymore, so I wasn't sure how I was going to watch it, but it came out on Blu-ray this week, so I got a chance to watch it. And yeah, he was good. It's a bit of a Forrest Gump, Rain Man, never go full retard type thing, and he never goes full retard, but so he's definitely a contender in this, but I banked on Denzel last year, and that kind of blew up in my face. Now, like most of us, I love Denzel Washington, and I love when he's talking especially. I don't really need, like, Equalizers and Training Days. This is good. But, I don't know. I'm not going to put my chips in that one this year. Daniel Day-Lewis for The Phantom Thread. Yeah, he was really good in that one. But some of his character choices didn't make sense. I don't know if that's his fault or if that's Paul Thomas Anderson's fault. But I can bring that back up when I'm talking about the film itself. He did good. It's Daniel Day-Lewis. He's never the same thing twice, and that's important. He at least did something different that I've never seen him do. But I don't know. I don't think he's going to win this one. So my vote goes to Gary Oldman for Darkest Hour. Because he did the one thing that I love most about movies is when I forget that I'm watching a movie about a guy, and I just think that I'm watching the guy. Just like when Eddie Redmayne was in The Theory of Everything, I honestly convinced myself that that was Stephen Hawking, and just like that, I convinced myself that I was watching Winston Churchill. I really hope he wins for this, because apparently I've been a fan of Gary Oldman my whole life. Like, I didn't know who he was in The Fifth Element, but I loved The Fifth Element when I was like 7. So, let's give him an Oscar. I'm sure he already has one, I haven't checked. So for Best Actor, Gary Oldman, Darkest Hour. So now for the arguably the hardest category, because I know the least about this, and this is not something that I can directly see all the time. Best Director. Nominees are Paul Thomas Anderson for Phantom Thread. Okay, so Paul Thomas Anderson makes a movie about a person with severe flaws and their relationships to people around them. Which movie am I talking about, though? No, Phantom Thread. It's just that this is his niche. This is what he does. He does it well. I guess I didn't quite understand all the stuff he did. Like, what was with the poisoning mushrooms? Why was she doing that? I don't know. I have a hard time saying I didn't like this movie, but I really wish I didn't have to watch it. It was a bit of a slog. Guillermo del Toro for The Shape of Water. Now, this is a really high contender for me. I'm not going to give it my vote, but it was a very beautiful movie set in a very vivid setting, and one that I've seen before, honestly. But a movie of this caliber being about what it's about, that's fantastic. I'm glad I live in a world where Shape of Water exists. But unfortunately, I don't give him my vote. Christopher Nolan for Dunkirk. Honestly, this one's why is this one even on here? He fucked up. He made a genuine mistake when making his movie by shooting it as three separate movies, time shifted by like 3 hours, or I don't even know. The movie was confusing. I made a video about how I liked this movie, but I was confused by the way it was formatted, and that's the director's fault. Unless he has an editor working against him, I don't see why he's even on this list. Greta Gerwig, it's great that she got a nomination on her directorial debut, but the movie wasn't good. Like, it wasn't interesting. It was engaging, but not entertaining. You know what I mean? Like, how do you pitch a movie that's basically just my life? Like, can we make a movie about me? About what I was doing in high school? Because it's exactly the same thing. Fake name. Well, I didn't have a gay boyfriend. By definition, if I had a boyfriend, he would have been gay, so that's something. Yeah, honestly, you just replace her actual vagina with my gender issues, then you have a movie about me. I don't get why this gets to be nominated so highly, and I'm living underground. I don't know. Jealousy. Jealousy. But my pick is Jordan Peele for Get Out, because this was also a directorial debut. This was an actually entertaining movie because, like Lady Bird, it's a genre that I don't particularly want to watch, but if forced to, I will, and I really enjoyed this. I would watch it again. I don't have any plans to, but I would if the opportunity arose. So, Jordan Peele for Get Out, Best Director. And now to the main event, as the Grandmaster would say, Best Picture. So starting off, Call Me By Your Name, I thought was a very beautiful movie about people that I hated. Like, Michael Stuhlbarg was my favorite part of that movie, especially at the end when he gave his what do you call that when you're talking to your child, but you're doing it in a supportive way and not, like, yelling at them? I don't know. There's no word for that in my language. But, like, the main actors, there was too much of an age gap. There was a whole part with a cum peach that I was super uncomfortable during, which, you know, they say movies is supposed to challenge you and take you out of your comfort zone, but, you know, I have Google. I could pull myself out of comfort zone. You know how many times I've seen Two Girls, One Cup? I don't need you to put that in feature-length films. As I said before, the kid, whose name I don't remember, or probably can't pronounce, was just moping all the time. It was just a beautiful setting with just insanely aggravating characters. Except for Michael Stuhlbarg. Darkest Hour? I love this movie. I'll do Dunkirk at the same time because I made a video about Dunkirk, but this was the more political side of Dunkirk. And honestly, it was better because you know the part in Dunkirk where the boats are coming up and there's like 10 of them? In Darkest Hour, they actually showed hundreds of boats coming, and like it actually showed the scale of the rescue operation. So Dunkirk, I'm just gonna cross that one right off out of my brain. Darkest Hour over Dunkirk every time. Get Out, I made a video about. There's nothing particularly wrong with it. It's just not my genre. I can't be blamed for it. Jordan Peele can't be blamed for it. It's just ships passing in the night, if you will. Lady Bird didn't get it. Already explained why. Seriously though, if like Netflix was looking for a new movie, I could just make my version of Lady Bird and get it nominated or something. I don't know. I probably don't have the technical know-how to actually do that, but I mean, there's people around you could ask. It's not like I'm going to be Tommy Wiseau and just like do everything on my own. The Phantom Thread, it wasn't that good. It was logically wrong. Like, why did the girl... I don't even remember these people. I watched this movie not 2 weeks ago and I can't remember any of their names. Why was the girl attracted to Woodcock in the first place? Why did Woodcock put up with her for so long? He was a perfectly fine guy. Like, I liked Woodcock. He had his routine. I have my own routine. He doesn't like people fucking with that routine. I can relate to that, but he just let her fuck with his routine for no reason. He has skills. People have value in his life, and he just lets this girl exist. And I'd have left her in whatever beachside town he found her in. Whole movie didn't need to happen. Not that anything actually happened in the movie. The Post, I made a video about. It was okay, but unsurprising. You know, I don't think that should be on this list. Honestly, there's one thing missing from this list that is infuriating to me. And that's The Big Sick. I don't get why half of these movies are on the list and The Big Sick isn't. That's just sand in the face. Moving on. The Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri was way funnier of a movie than it needed to be for a movie about rape and murder. Martin McDonough is a great director. I'm surprised he wasn't on this Best Director list, because I loved In Bruges. I really need to watch Seven Psychopaths again, but I love In Bruges. So this would be like my second choice. But my number one choice for Best Picture is The Shape of Water, because it's unique, it's beautiful, and something of that nature needs this award. It needs to be seen by as many people as it can. And I know from experience that if I go through a video store, wait, do they have those? If I go down an aisle and I see winner of Best Picture, I'm more likely to see it. That's how I saw like half the movies growing up, was the Oscars. The Oscars dictated what I watched, what my interests were, and that's something I needed. So my pick for Best Picture is The Shape of Water, and I can't wait for it to come out on Blu-ray because I got people I need to show that to. So this concludes my predictions of the Academy Awards of 2018. And stay tuned to my channel, even though I know that you don't watch my channel. But stay tuned, because I'm going to keep making videos whether I want to or anyone else wants me to or not.